It was some of the greatest memories I've ever had, the greatest friendships I've ever had, and the greatest support group that I've ever had. What's up, guys? I wanted to make a real quick video for you to just help anybody out there that's undecided about joining the military, or maybe you're thinking about joining. Maybe you've already joined and you're just looking for a video of what to expect. This is going to be a video that's, just a couple things that I wish I knew before I joined. Now, in this video, you're going to hear a lot of things. I might say Marine Corps a lot, but that's because that's what my background is. But this can be applied to anything, right? It could be any branch that you're looking at joining. But there are some things that are specifically Marine Corps. All right, guys, I want to give you a real quick background about myself. I joined the Marine Corps in 2007 and I got out in 2012. When I joined the Marine Corps, I went in as infantry, artillery, and open, and I ended up getting air traffic controller somehow. Whatever. I ended up getting selected to go onto a Marine mobile team. And if you're not familiar, it is the Marine Corps' version of the combat controller that the Air Force has, but it's a little bit watered down, right? And I had one combat deployment to Helmand Province, Afghanistan with Max 2 Det Bravo, and I was on the 2nd Marine Mobile Team. First thing that I wish I knew before I went into the Marine Corps is that they want you to succeed, right? They don't want you to fail. They want you to pass everything. When you're in boot camp, you're always nervous. You're always like fearful about failing, right? Like that was the biggest thing for me is I was like, all right, I don't want to go back home a failure. Like I don't want to disappoint people. I don't want to disappoint my friends and my family, right? And it's kind of like this big fear that looms in the back of your mind. And you really have to think about it and say, they didn't spend all this money, all this time, and all this energy to send you down to boot camp if they wanted you to fail, right? When you go into the Marine Corps or the military and you sign up, you're going to go into that delayed entry program, right? They're going to make sure that you're physically and mentally ready to go into boot camp. They're not going to just ship you off and then hope for the best, right? That's why you go to MEPS. That's why you go to these different places. And I got a really funny MEPS video if you guys want to see it right up here. It says short. Where's it at? Right here? Right there. Based off of that, my very first tip would be don't fear failure as much as you think, right? You're not going to fail as long as you are continually pushing yourself and you're at least putting an effort. You're going to make it. Like you will pass, right? Like you will pass. Like if I made it, you can make it, bro. That's what you got to think about. If I made it, you can make it too. So something else that I wish I knew before I went to the military, specifically the Marine Corps, is when everybody always says like, oh, it's all mental. It's like 90% mental and 10% physical. I wish I knew what that meant, right? Now I kind of do. The physical aspect of it is this, right? You're going to be pushed physically and it's going to be uncomfortable. It's either going to be really hot, it's going to be really cold. It depends on what location you're at. Like in South Carolina, where I went to Paris Island, we had like sand fleas. So you get like these little like fleas and like flies and stuff in your face, whatever it is, right? The thing is it's going to be physical. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be a really shitty experience, right? However, what they mean by mentally is there's going to be points where you're going to think like, okay, I can't do this, or you're going to want to give up on yourself. And that's where the mental game comes in, right? The reason they say it's 90% mental is because you need to have a strong mind to push your body through the physical part of it. So if you feel like weak, defeated, destroyed, or whatever, the drill instructors won't give up on you, and they're going to keep pushing you past what you think you're capable of. So you got to take that and like understand that it's going to be physical, it's going to be mental, and yes, you can prepare for it. The more physically fit you are, the easier it is going to be on you mentally, right? Because if you are not fit physically and you start to struggle on runs or you're constantly behind, it's going to add mental strain to you, because now you're also having to worry about 60, 70, 80 other people that you might be letting down. So yes, it is physical. Yes, it is mental. Is there a way to prepare? I think that preparing physically is going to help you out more than anything, right? Because mentally, you can get in that headspace and you could visualize it, you could do whatever. But once you hit those yellow footprints and you are in a whole nother world, it's going to change everything. Like all that's going to be out the window. So for tip number 2, it would be to just understand that you're going to go through a process. It's going to be physical. It's going to be mental. It's going to make you want to break. But you got to go back to that step 1 and remember they're not going to give you anything that you can't handle, and they're not going to push you past something that you can't physically do, right? And like I said, if I did it, you could do it. That should be some motivation. Something that I wish I knew before I went into the Marine Corps is that it's not a big deal, man. Like, the reason I say that is years from now, right? So if, let's say you go into the Marine Corps now, or you go into the military now and you go into boot camp, 10, 15, 20 years from now, you're not going to be as anxious and nervous or whatever as you are in that moment. It makes sense, right? But when you're getting ready to go, you feel intimidated. It's overwhelming. You're in this strange environment. You're going to be getting yelled at. You're going into the unknown. However, after you get there and you've been there for, I don't know, a week, a couple days, whatever it is, you're going to get hit with so many different things. It's going to be so discombobulating. You're going to be so confused and disorientated. And it's going to be this mesh of just craziness, right? You're thrown into this really crazy world. What you got to realize is that it's temporary, right? Whatever you're doing in this moment is very temporary. Yeah, you're going to be like anxious. You're going to be excited. You're going to be worn out, whatever's going on. But once you're done with boot camp, it's going to turn into a funny memory or funny stories. All right. And you got to look at that, the big picture rule, and kind of zoom out and say, okay, this is only 3 months. This is only 2 months. Whatever your boot camp is, this is only a couple months. And in the moment, it's going to be horrible. But once it's done, it's done. It becomes a memory, right? So don't get so worked up and so anxious, and just kind of enjoy that journey, because going back to it now, I really do kind of miss like some of the things in the Marine Corps, right? So especially like boot camp was kind of funny. Now that I look back on it, right? I'm just going to talk very candidly to you and just kind of shoot the shit, just like if you were my friend, right? The thing is, if you're joining the Marine Corps, I think it was one of the greatest decisions that I've ever made in my life, right? And I don't regret it for one sec. One of the things my grandmother asked me is, she's like, would you go back and do it all over again? Knowing how bad you feel now, like how messed up I am. And I think every single time my answer has always been 100%, without a doubt. It was some of the greatest memories I've ever had, the greatest friendships I've ever had, and the greatest support group that I've ever had. My fiance now, it's kind of funny because she's like, oh, I love this brotherhood that it has, right? It's very unique. She's like, I find it interesting how we can go to the VA or go to a hospital or go anywhere. We could be in a line in Walmart, and somebody will, maybe we'll see a tattoo or something, and they're like, oh, you were in the military? Like, what branch? And we start talking. I'm like, oh, Marine Corps. And they're like, oh, same here. And it becomes this brotherhood, right? That's something you can't find anywhere else. The military, and I'm going to go ahead and say this is very specific Marine Corps because this is what I know. It could be vastly different in other branches. I don't know. But from my own experience, I absolutely think that there's a bond that's formed in the Marine Corps that is very unique to the Marine Corps. And I don't know if that's the whole like a spirit to core thing or whatever it is, but there's something about that brotherhood that is so incredibly strong. It's insane, man. And when I joined, I did join because I wanted I went into the Marine Corps because I wanted that pride of saying I'm a Marine, right? My grandfather was a Marine. A lot of people in my family were Marines. Now, some of my best friends are soldiers and sailors and stuff like that. But getting back to the main point of the story is, the thing that's gonna mess you up more than anything in life is like your regrets, right? The things you didn't do. And one of the things that I heard is, they say on your deathbed, the thing that you regret most are the things that you didn't do, right? And I really think that this rings true. I don't know where I would be. I think I would be kicking myself every day of my life if I wouldn't have joined, right? I think making that decision to join, it's a very individual decision, but I think that it's a decision that it shouldn't be taken lightly, but at the same time, it should be something that you should look forward to, right? You should look forward to joining the military, look forward to joining the Marine Corps and being part of this organization, because trust me, man, you're going to have the days, especially when you're in, where you're sitting there thinking to yourself, like, this will never end. I'm never going to get out. I'm in a prison, right? It feels like that, but it's not. And I think it's the easiest way to put it is this, man. When I was in, I couldn't wait to get out. And then once I got out, I I miss being in. I miss my friends. I miss the people that I was with, right? And the experiences that I had shaped who I am today, and it helped me become a better person, right? When I got back from the Marine Corps, my grandmother said that the Marine Corps and war gave me a heart. Before I joined the Marine Corps, man, I was stupid, right? I did stupid things. I don't think I was really on the right path. I grew up in Section 8 housing in DC in the middle of the 80s, where it was like the murder capital of the world. And I was the only white person in like, I don't know, like 50 blocks, man. I haven't seen a white person in years, dude. So I was just kind of in this like, this crime background, right? And the military was that escape out at the time because we were very poor. I had really nothing else going on in my life. And I thought at the time, I'm like, I'm too stupid for college. I don't have enough money for college. I won't be able to make it. And the military became like my option. So I understand that everybody has different backgrounds, different perspectives, different upbringings, whatever it is, it shapes who you are. And I think that the military, especially the Marine Corps, is going to develop you into a very good person, right? It's going to take a lot of qualities that you have that are negative qualities, and they're going to kind of get that out of you. And it's going to be like very specific or certain things that you don't think about now that you're going to look back on later and be like, oh my God, I can't believe I was that guy. Like I look back at my life now and I'm like, I can't believe I was that guy. I think that, I have a lot of, regrets and or maybe not regrets, but I have a lot of things that I'm working on now that I did or didn't do, especially in Afghanistan, that kind of like sit with, I'm not going to say like haunt me, but they kind of like sit with me. Right. And I think that even looking at, the traumas or wherever you want to call it, looking back at that and kind of weighing who it made me today, I would say that like it's insignificant compared to who I am now. But I still have a long way to go, just like anybody else, man. My thing is this: I think each and every one of you out there, if you're watching this video and if you're taking the time to watch this entire video and listen to me ramble and me to talk to you, I think you're going to make it, right? Because obviously it shows that you're willing to go a step above and beyond, and you're preparing yourself mentally or physically for what's, coming, or what's ahead, right? There we go. Yeah, what's ahead. Now, I'm not going to I don't want to say names, stuff like that, but for anybody that reached out and, went into my comment section in my short videos and asked me to make this video for you guys, man, I have so much respect for you, because that took a lot, right? And that shows initiative. And I'm telling you right now, if you take that same initiative and you apply that to the Marine Corps, you're going to go far, man. Nothing can stop you. Nothing will ever stop you, bro. 100%. If anybody's coming to this video and let's say you go to boot camp and you failed, you didn't make it, whatever happened, and you came back, and let's say you're watching this video and you're worried that might happen, right? You got to think about it like this. Failure is a part of life, and failure should be embraced. You should love it. Failure does not make the person. Failure, when you fail, right? Let's say it's you put your all into everything and you fail, and then you give up and you say, I'm not doing that again. I failed. I suck. I'm a loser, whatever it is. Then, okay, yes, then you're going to fit right into that label that you gave yourself. However, I think the most successful people are the people that have failed repeatedly and just kept going. Said, okay, I failed. Okay, next step. Dude, when I first started doing, I'm still kind of in the earlier stages of YouTube, right? But when I first upload a video where I do something and I put tons of hours and time and energy into it, and it just got nothing, dude. It got 10 reviews or 10 views. It didn't go anywhere. And it's kind of like a kick in the nuts, man. You just get a step back and you're like, man, that sucks. I did all that work for what? But it is what it is, man. It's like you want to succeed at everything you do, and you might not. And that's perfectly fine, man. If you don't make it, you can always retry, bro. Come back, do it again. Not a big deal. Any comments of any questions that you guys have, drop them below, and I will do my absolute best, I promise, to respond to each and every one of you, man. I'm trying my best to make good videos for you guys, and something that maybe can help somebody make that decision in their life that will make them a better person. So best of luck to anybody out there that's trying to join the military. I think that's one of the greatest things you could do in life. And I look back on it right now and I wouldn't change an absolute thing about my military background. And I will tell you this right now, you guys will be feeling the exact same in this exact same moment 5 years from now, 4 years from now. Whenever you go and you get out, you're going to look back and be like, thank God I did that and I miss it. I'm telling you. But thank you guys for listening, man. If you made it to this end of the video, I appreciate you. You guys need to know, there's nothing that you cannot physically do. I believe in you, man. I'm proud of all you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace. We're out.
Blowing smoke sky, yeah, I believe we can fly. Turn off the light. What am I? Blowing smoke sky, yeah, I believe